All right, I'm going to start. We're doing an official proclamation about Block Party, launching Block Party Week and the proclamation of Good Neighbour Day. But before I start, I just want to say a few thank yous, obviously to Sonora Drive, sorry. And you can tell where I am by the t-shirts. Gary behind me is one of the neighborhood connectors, and he graciously volunteered to do a quick organizing of this filming for us. I find that reading a proclamation on a Zoom meeting is just not that ceremonial or really that exciting or fun, and I'm just so appreciative of everyone for putting on your shirts and coming out and being part of this. I mean, it's going to be really quick and simple. A couple months ago, I bet you we wouldn't have even thought we were going to be doing block parties in St. Albert. St. Albert is known as, in my heart, as the block party capital of the world, for sure Canada. I think at least half of every street in St. Albert has had a block party and continues to do them annually. In 2017, we really were doing a push because it was our Canada's birthday, so a lot of people are really probably very happy to know that block parties are allowed in St. Albert this year. They're going to look different. We're going to try to, there'll be no sharing of food. Everybody's going to probably have to bring their own food and their own beverages, and you know, stay your distances, and there won't be any of the normal things that the city helps out with, along like with the entertainment. But I'm sure St. Albert will come together and still host our block parties, because there's not much else you can do this summer. So it'll be block parties galore. So I just want to thank you guys again for being here. And I'm going to read this. So this is a bit of a combination. So, Good Neighbour Day. Whereas a key value of St. Albert's social master plan is creating a sense of community and connectedness where neighbors know one another and feel safe. And whereas the City of St. Albert is a community that has embraced block parties so much that over half of our streets have had one, and whereas neighbors across St. Albert willingly stepped up to help one another manage and cope during the COVID-19 global pandemic, and whereas efforts of our neighbors during this unprecedented time should be recognized and celebrated, now therefore, on behalf of Council, I, Cathy Heron, Mayor of the City of St. Albert, do hereby proclaim July 4th to be the City of St. Albert's first ever Good Neighbour Day, and I hereby declare the 2020 Block Party season officially open. So, Gary, you want to step in now? It's wet now. Thank you for hosting and organizing this. And I should have probably pointed out when I was doing my introductions that we do have a program on the city website. If you go on there and if you type in Good Neighbour Recognition, you can quickly fill out a form, and it's a quick little, it's a pro, quick little document and a little note that I'll write to your neighbor just thanking them for what they've done. So please, I encourage you to do that, and enjoy your block party season. Great. Thanks.
I just wanted to say a few things. I have competition there for the crow, as the crow flies. You know, you look at this street and it seems very peaceful and quiet for the most part. But you know, there is another side to a street that we often don't see, and I think Canadians get a little bit caught up in sort of the day-to-day life of life being peaceful. There was an occasion when I used to work in the intelligence community, and it was a time just after the Cold War, and Canadians didn't realize that at any given point in time there were over 400 Russian fishing trawlers off either the west or the east coast of North America. And you know, it wasn't because our fish were good, it was because they were listening on all the communications that were being emanated from North America. And as I said, you know, you look at our street and it's very nice and very peaceful, but there is another side to it too. About 14 months ago, actually it started in March, 2 to-do things came up on my list. One of them was that I wanted to recognize the 3 remaining original people from the early 60s on our neighborhood. Unfortunately, I didn't quite make it, politics being what it is, but having said that, The other thing on my list was to make sure that the stories of those three families got to our museum, and it got there, luckily. So if you ever want to read about their history, feel free to go to the Heritage Museum. I just wanted to say in regard to that, the Wilson residence at number 18, they moved in 1962. Eleanor Wilson was a teacher at Betel Grandin for almost 35 years, and my wife came home a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. She came up to our driveway one day. This is in February. One thing people know about Canada in February, it's very cold, and it was that day. But Lois looked up at the Wilson residence, and there was Eleanor Wilson on her steps. And she looked a little bit befuddled. And to make a long story short, she was out there, locked out of her house in her pajamas. Aww. And I think give you an idea of how long she would last in February had my wife not come home. And in this house, the home of the Pescluis here, they moved in here in 1963. I have Rose's permission to tell this to you. She, excuse me, after the death of her husband, she was alone in the house here, and Paula used to pop in, and the grandson used to pop in as well. One day, he left her late in the day after coming home, said hello to her and left. Rose decided to go out in the backyard, do some weeding. Guess what? We still have weeds today, but she went out there, and she did her best, but unfortunately, she couldn't get up, and she couldn't move. She spent the entire night in that backyard.
Oh,
And I think that's what sort of hastened her retreat to St. Andrews, where she is right now. I know this house meant an awful lot to her, but I think it just gives you an idea that despite the peacefulness of the community, there's a time when everybody has to come together and help. And through this pandemic, our neighbors have been really, really good to us, and I want to thank them all very much.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And thank you, Angie, for all that you do for the community recognition program and connectedness. That's really what makes St. Albert so great. So thank you, Angie.
My pleasure.
Okay.